Hello guys, Jesus here back again with the next video in my new cannoning tutorial series. In this video we're going to go over cannoning servers really quickly. The thing I'm going to go over today is going to be a fragment. Since this is my server and it's also the only free server on the new versions. There is also Crystal, and most of these things are going to carry over or be similar on Crystal, but some details or commands might be different, so you're going to have to check it out for yourself. So we're going to go over some features that cannoning servers have really quick. We're going to start with the magic sand. So you see this a lot, but when people build a cannon on a cannoning server, they don't refill the sand manually, and usually have these blocks that place the sand in for them. This is magic sand, and as you can see when placed, it keeps placing in the sand here. You can get this with the /ms or /magic sand command. If you don't type anything else, you'll just get a sand, but you can also get other blocks like gravel or concrete. An additional thing that is interesting is that you can clear out this magic sand with /ms clear. This is going to remove the magic sand and replace the original magic sand with these blocks here. You can then also do ms refill to paste this magic sand back in. This is really nice for saving schematics of cannons and also saving the magic sand. You can also place these blocks manually and they will be refilled. Next, we're going to have a look at a simple command that you will use all the time, which is TNT fill. Now, every cannoning server should have this feature. You just type /TNT fill, and bam, all the dispensers near you will get filled with TNT. Next, we're going to get into a very useful command, which is clear entities, or /CE for short. You're going to type this command, and it is going to clear all the entities in your area. And it is also going to tell you how many entities were cleared, which can be quite useful. Next, we are going to look at the /bar and /lever commands. Once you press button on cannoning servers, you will often see a button added prompt, as well as a lever added prompt in your chat. The reason this happens is because you can now use /bar or /lever to toggle these buttons and levers, which is really useful for debugging your cannon if you're at a wall and you want to fire your cannon. Now we're going to have a look at multi-dispensers. Now these work a bit different on every server, but here on Fragment they are very simple. Just type /multi, then enter the amount of TNT you want the dispenser to dispense, and then enter the fuse of the TNT. By default this is 80, the normal 4 seconds, but you can also make this higher. For example, this TNT will now take 6 seconds to explode. Now, this command is currently only limited to donors on the server because it's quite easy to lag and crash the server with it. But if you are a donor on Fragment, you will have access to this command, and it can be quite useful for creating concept cannons or testing how much hammer exactly you need without having to copy and paste hundreds of dispensers. One of the most important features that cannoning servers have are protection blocks. Now what these blocks do is just what the name suggests. They protect your cannon. Now these blocks are usually coal blocks and emerald blocks, and anything that's under or above these blocks will not be blown up by TNT explosions. So as you can see, if I set off a TNT explosion right here, it is going to destroy these wood blocks here. But if I set off this TNT on top of the protection blocks, these blocks are not going to be destroyed. Now this is very useful, and you always want to use this when testing your cannon, so you don't have to rebuild your cannon after it blows up. Now one thing you want to be careful with is, while these blocks prevent your cannon from blowing up, you still want to water your cannon because that can prevent a lot of lag and can make the experience much smoother. Next, we're going to have a look at the tick counter, which is usually a blaze rod. With this blaze rod, you can left click and it will display an amount of ticks, game ticks, redstone ticks, and seconds. Now if you punch different redstone components with it, it's going to start counting the delay that these components make. And it's going to start counting up. You can always view this count by left clicking. Once you right click, this count will be cleared. This is very useful for just going through your cannon, following your redstone line, to see what delay a certain part of your cannon is on. Another useful feature that most canning servers have is the stack remover. Just take a bone and left or right click on a sand stack or a concrete stack, and it will clear the stack for you. This also works at a range. Now the last thing that I'm going to show you today is something a bit more complex. It's called Cannon Debug. This is a very advanced plugin that lets you view a lot of different information about the entities in your cannon. The way you start using this is by typing the C command, which is the Cannon Debug command, and then S for select. Once you type this command, you will enter selection mode. In this mode, you can't do anything, but you can click dispensers and sand blocks to select them. Once you have selected your blocks, exit the selection mode. Now, if you have, for example, a TNT that gets dispensed, or a sand that falls, you will be able to see them in your Cannon Debug history. You can access this by typing C, then H for history, and then A for all. Here you can see both your TNT and your falling block that we just selected. And you can already see you can click to teleport. It displays the last location of both of these blocks, and we can teleport there. We can also click here to paste the position into the chat box to copy and paste it. Now, if you want more details about one of these, you can press the ID. For example, if you want to know more about this Prime TNT, we press on the ID here, and it will show us a lot of different pages with all the positions of this TNT for every tick. So we can see on the first tick, this TNT was here. The second tick it existed, it was here, so on. And this will also show us the eye height of the TNT, as well as the velocity and the exact position. Something else useful is that on the side here, you can copy the position as well as the velocity, and there will be a little indicator with an X or Y that indicates that the block was inside of the area of one block on the X or Y axis. This is very useful for fusioning or mid-airs. And yeah, this tool in general, super useful. There's a lot more things to it than this. This is a bit of an oversimplification, and I might make a more advanced video on it in the future. But this is something you should always use to debug your cannon. It can be very helpful to see what's going wrong with your cannon. Now lastly, if you want to remove these things from your history, you can do C, then C for clear, and then H to clear your history. And you can also, instead of an H, put an S to clear your selections. Now one last thing that both Fragment and Crystal have, but I think the commands are called a bit different on Crystal, are some settings for your plot, like TNT spread, TNT flow, and explode lava, as well as falling block parity. Now, what these things do is they allow you to turn off certain features for your plot. So TNT spread, it's a random velocity TNT receives when you ignite it. Now, most servers have this disabled, but if you for some reason want to use it, you can turn it on and off with this command. Same goes for TNT flow, which is TNT flowing in water. You can turn this feature on and off. Most servers have this disabled by default, but if you wish to have it, you can turn it on. Next we have Explode Lava, which I've turned on right now. Now this is for testing cannons for non-region servers. What this does is it allows TNT to blow up lava, so regions will no longer work. Now the last thing we have is entity parity, and this is a feature that most servers have adapted, so you probably want to turn this on when going to your plot if you're cannoning for a server like Complex. Now what this does is it makes the way falling blocks like sand are affected by explosions the same as TNT is affected by explosions, because this is not actually the same by default in vanilla Minecraft. As I said, most servers have this enabled, but if you're not sure, you can always check if your server has parity enabled. If they do, you want to turn the falling block parity setting on. If they don't, you want to turn it off. All my tutorials in this series will be with falling block parity turned on, so keep that in mind. That being said, the link to my server is going to be in the description, and you can join here and try all these things for yourself and test your own cannons on here. The server is free, and all you have to do is join the Discord, and that link will be in the description. That being said, I'll see you in the next tutorial. I hope you liked it. Leave a like and comment.